Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the LHA Life Sciences Week 2013 here in San Francisco. With me is Dr. Seth Lederman of Tonix Pharmaceuticals, symbol TNXP. Dr. Lederman, welcome to SNNLive.
Shelley, thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. Tell me, Seth, give me an overview of the company.
Tonix is a specialty pharmaceuticals company. We are working on a new therapy for fibromyalgia, which is a pain disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, which is often abbreviated PTSD, which is an anxiety disorder.
Interesting. The market is huge for that.
The market is huge, but even larger is the medical need. These are enormous problems. Fibromyalgia patients are not satisfied with the existing products, and neither are PTSD products. So what we're really focusing on is making a fundamental improvement in the treatment of these patients.
What's the basis of the science behind it?
Our product is a bedtime treatment that's designed to improve the quality of sleep for fibromyalgia patients and for PTSD patients. And our theory is that by improving the quality of sleep, we will reduce their other symptoms, for example, pain in fibromyalgia, and some of the many symptoms of PTSD, things like nightmares and re-experiencing.
Interesting. So it's not a sleeping pill.
Correct. It is not a treatment for insomnia, and we believe that treatments for insomnia, which are not indicated for these conditions, also don't have value for these conditions. So our treatment is fundamentally different from insomnia treatments. We like to say we're focused on sleep quality, not on sleep quantity.
So that's interesting, because when you go, not you and I, but when a patient goes to their doctor and they're being diagnosed, what do they use now?
Fibromyalgia has 3 very effective drugs that are already approved and in wide use. Pfizer has Lyrica, Eli Lilly has Cymbalta, and Forest Labs has Savella. And those are very important treatments and really pave the way for the recognition of fibromyalgia as a pain syndrome and something that could be treated with prescription drugs. We believe that our treatment is different from those drugs, works in a different way, and might help people that aren't getting enough benefit, enough satisfaction from the available medicines.
And you're obviously in clinical trials?
We've done some clinical trials. In 2013, we will enroll in our first pivotal study, the first of 2 pivotal studies that will be required to get FDA approval for our product.
That must be an exciting time in your career.
It's a very exciting time. We think that what we're doing could really fundamentally alter the treatment of fibromyalgia and PTSD, and also change the understanding of these conditions and hopefully lead to even better treatments beyond what we can offer.
You know, PTSD is oftentimes misdiagnosed, correct?
There is probably some misdiagnosis, but we think the biggest problem with PTSD is underdiagnosis. People with PTSD are discriminated against in the workplace because it's a chronic, lifelong disability. And without effective treatments to break the perception that this is an untreatable disorder, patients with PTSD find it hard to integrate into normal working life.
So, I want to get the website out there, if you don't mind, please.
Yes, thank you. Our website is www.tonixpharma.com. That's www.tonixpharma.com.
Okay. What's your background?
I'm trained as a physician, and I was a professor at Columbia University for about 20 years, actively involved in research in internal medicine, rheumatology, and immunology. And as a practicing in a rheumatology clinic for 17 of those years, I had firsthand experience with fibromyalgia patients.
So that's why you picked those 2 Well, I know why you picked fibromyalgia, and where did the PTSD come from?
Well, we picked fibromyalgia because we were brought a very interesting technology from a physician from Baltimore, Dr. Iredell Eigelhart, who had developed the treatment for fibromyalgia that we've now improved on. But what our primary motivation was to improve the care of fibromyalgia patients. And over the time working with fibromyalgia, we were struck more and more with the similarities between fibromyalgia and PTSD. And the similarity really is that fibromyalgia patients complain of two things. They hurt all over and they can't sleep. PTSD patients really have two very similar complaints, that they usually reverse the order, that they have trouble sleeping and they also hurt all over. So those two key symptoms suggested to us that there is a relationship between the conditions, but we're not the only people who have recognized this. Many academic people that are far more knowledgeable about PTSD than I am recognize the connection between fibromyalgia and PTSD. So as drug developers, we really read the literature carefully and look to the academic leaders for their guidance on important ways to improve the treatment of these conditions.
And the website is Tonix, T-O-N-I-X, pharma.com. This is Dr. Seth Lederman of Tonix Pharmaceuticals, TNXP. It's a publicly traded company. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. We are at the LHA Life Sciences Week in San Francisco 2013. I want to thank you, Doctor, for coming on to SNN.
Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome.